watching Christian Focus. My name is Prince Nick, and I hope you had a great week.
Amen.
Welcome to yet again another episode where I'm honored and humbled to host once again my good friend over some time, Dr. Wilson Muwanguzi. Dr. Wilson Muwanguzi is a gentleman of many hats. You know, he's the senior pastor at the Great Thinkers Church and director at Wilson Global Mandate, director of Wilson's, and director of Wisdom Box.
Amen. Welcome
to the show, Pastor.
Thank you, Nick.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Hope you had a great Sunday.
Yes, as always. Yeah. God helps, God provides, God, comforts. Why not?
Amen.
Yeah.
Now, last time when we had an opportunity to be on this show,
yes,
we talked about worship.
Yes.
And I remember you opened my eyes, edified me so greatly in that area.
Yes.
Today I'm here because I came across some of the books that you've written that actually address a very paramount issue today, poverty.
Yes.
It's all over Uganda, poverty is all over Africa. One of your books is Wiping Poverty Out of Church.
Right.
And the other is
If
Africa is rich,
why are Africans poor?
Sure. Now, what inspired you to write these books? Was it out of experience or God whispered to you?
Wow.
Like the prophets get what they talk to us about?
I think the revelation is in the God line, like you've said.
Yeah.
But the experience was the greatest motivation. I'm a victim of poverty, and I've always stressed it. I'm a very serious victim of poverty. I remember one day asking my mother, I sat before she rested, she went to be with the Lord. But one day I asked her before she died, and I asked her, Mother, what did you do? What did you do?
For us to be poor.
Why are we so poor?
And you ask your mother, where is your dad by that time?
Exactly. The story is long. And by the time I was asking my mother, I'd gone to visit her. Anyone who knows my mother, the people around Karero, you know Karero?
Yeah, I have my aunt in Karero.
Thank you very much.
I stayed there for about 3 months. Was it my P7 vacation?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Mutavari and Aunt Sarah.
So my mother was a babysitter. You'd rather be a babysitter of the children of the parents of Entebbe, where you stay, but not of Lowanso. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to undermine those people. But the environment, the area, there, my mother being a babysitter and living such a very humble life, we suffered a lot. And so one day I asked my mother, why? Mommy, why all this poverty? I've tried, I got saved, I tried to bind the devil, I've tried to fight so much to see that this poverty ceases to be, but the hole is so deep, this hole of poverty. My mother was a lady of silent words because I had seen how we suffered. Walking 7 miles when you were 7 years of age, you're walking 7 miles on foot and you are carrying sugar canes because they are the ones you are selling at Kakunyu there, Lake Choga. Kakunyu, Choga, Wakiso district there. You are carrying sugar canes to make the ends meet. You have to sell. If they don't sell, you have no meal. And so many other things, You sleep with gods. 5 years. Me, the person you see here, sleeping and sharing the same room with gods, It was too deep. And so, jiggers, life of jiggers, lies. I don't think even today there's a generation that doesn't know lies, I'm talking about this dire poverty. And you see the background?
You experienced that.
And my mother told me something that is really amazing. This is what he told me. During the war, when we were still young, my own father, Mr. Robert Kisitu, said this. He suggested to her. He said, you know what, Tia? We need to dress these children with rags so that the Red Cross Society will come and see them so that we can get the help we need from the Red Cross.
Wow.
Now, I want you to think about that mindset.
That was really
and
serious.
Mom was telling me the story, my mother, before she died. And combining all those, and even I'm in church, the greatest Christian society where I have seen that demon of poverty being cast out, it is in church, especially the Pentecostal church. It is the religious society that really gets so hard on poverty.
That's one topic we shall have to discuss sometime.
Exactly.
You know?
And so
Yeah.
I have been in that background of poverty. I come to church, I find too much binding of poverty. I say, oh, what is this now?
Yeah, it seems like most of the people came to the early Pentecostal church were poor
Poor.
people. Who were actually real suffering. Today, corporate people, today serious politicians, leaders come to church. But those days,
Yes.
it was like the Wempe church was for
exactly,
the poor
yeah.
people.
It was like Jesus had come for the poor.
For
only.
them.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, now I come to church. I find too much binding of the spirit. I say, I stay in church. I want to tell you, I have seen poverty in church for the last 27 years. I mean poverty in church. And so I began to say, oh no. Why? That was the cause and beginning of my research on poverty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Experience. That's where the book, Wiping Poverty Out of Church. And if Africa is rich.
Why are Africans poor?
Now, to this. Today, poverty is actually rampant in Uganda.
True.
And quite a number
Actually,
of,
in Africa.
In Africa.
Not just in Uganda.
Uganda for a focus
Exactly.
of discussion. Quite a number of programs have been put in place by government. Bonabagagawale, Operation Wealth Creation, and whatever. Have you tried to relate what you've written in your books with what government is trying to do to address poverty in the country?
Yeah, I really believe government has, it's a good concept. They have a good idea, but I think something misses. It is not a help until you get to know what you're helping and what motivates the society we are in. I think somewhere, somehow, something is lacking there. When in a very simple study, you are my age mate. If I'm not, maybe you are my age mate. Let us look at the most, and it is my age mate that is crying of poverty so much. You agree with me? Yeah, sure. It is my age mate.
And he was a few years younger than us.
When you look at what motivates us, I really think it is completely a different thing. And when you look at Uganda in specific, the statistics reveal to us that the greatest number, the percentage of Uganda are young what?
Young people. Yes.
Now what motivates?
Over 70%.
You see that? Now what motivates these young people? It is going to be beyond NADS. Agree with me?
True.
It is not easy for you to take back these young people to go in the gardens and begin to do.
And the land is scarce.
Land is exactly.
Yeah.
Many things. So the government, while the government has a good motive, they have a right perspective, I think somewhere, somehow, something misses. Some advice should be required. So, and I've come to realize in Africa, we are trying to give common solutions. And the reason is simply because there are common problems in Africa. And one of the major cause why the poverty is still insisting in Africa is common solutions for common problems. You see, we need to come back to this generation and see what motivates them, what inspires them most. The study is so much required there, and then we hit the target.
Yeah, when you mention common solutions for common problems, you bring me to think about what most governments in Africa are trying to do. They're trying to take us back to the industrial era. But like you said, we need to find what works today.
Exactly.
Because you want to create employment by creating industries, but people today, young people, don't want to go in the industry.
Exactly.
They want to do jobs that are rhyming with what is contemporary.
Exactly. And how many are even qualified for those industries? How many are specialized in a certain area? It is going to cost them go to school to learn, which money is not there currently. I think we need a study. We shouldn't be rigid to say that this is the method that works. Recently, I wish I can remember the name, a young man brought me a new theory, mathematics theory.
Tell me.
Of a gentleman. And I have the book, I wish I can remember the book, But she brought me the theory.
mathematical theory.
Yes.
Yes.
And he told me it's a gentleman in the America, and they use that theory, mathematics. And the theory is a new theory of mathematics where multiplication is done in a different way, the way that we are taught in class. And I said, now, these are the new innovations we really need.
It's what's currently working in America.
Exactly. Yeah. It is working in America, but I really doubt how many times, how soon it's going to come in Africa. He's a young man, and I pastor him, and I've always tried to teach them how to be innovative, to come up with new solutions. And I told him, you see what I told you? Because at one time I told them, no, so many theories have already changed, but the people are seriously making research, and there are many theories that can work for us, but are not applied in the normal daily life. Now, the theory, we need to study, we need to know, we need to learn what is the society, what is inspiring our society, and we find solution accordingly.
I love this. Now, Africans for whom you have written these books,
yes,
are poor book readers. And how do you try to disseminate this information away from having it in the books?
Good question. I've always said it's not that Africans don't read. It's just because they don't have anything to read.
No, the books are there. You know, it's just a few of us who go and discover these books and read them.
By the time I said
they
that,
they even say that if you want to hide some African, put in the book
and
give it to them.
That is going to change. And that should change, whoever said it. And I repeat what I've said. And I knew you were going to give me that same answer, that books are there. It's not that Africans don't read. It's because they have nothing to read. The authors that write, all the books, for example, when you used to go to school to study mathematics and biology, you always read those books by force, and you were forced to do. Because they are teaching you a theory, a mathematics theory, a physics theory, a chemistry theory that is so strange to you. What we read and the books that are available are not applicable. I tell you.
I guess you're thinking.
You needed a stick to go to school, to go to mathematics, and when you failed, they had to beat you. Yet today, as long as a few authors have tried to come up to write books that apply to the social life, someone gets their man and go to the bookshops to buy for themselves. Without a stick, without force. I think you see, because these inspirational books try to come to the ground. You understand what I'm saying? They come to the ground of people's situations. In fact, I would advise even the government to introduce an inspirational subject. What if Mr. Murwana the late? What if Mr. Gordon Wavamno? What if mention all those people that have inspired, that have influenced the nation of our country economically? Mention. What if they had written their stories and how they came up to where they are? And the government or the Minister of Education comes to analyze, to scrutinize, to look into these books and see what can be knowledgeable enough to make these young people to be introduced to the libraries of schools and to be put in under the inspirational subjects.
I love what you are trying to say.
Yes.
Looking at the successful people in the different fields, especially business.
Thank you.
Because most of these guys are not schooled in the contemporary way that like we know.
Thank you.
But have been successful. What have...
Actually, not just as they have influenced this nation. You touch 5 of them, my dear, we may crumble. We may crumble.
So we study what they have done.
Including our own president.
Yes.
He has a very wonderful story, The Mustard Seed. Now, what if such books, the Minister of Education sits down and scrutinizes what can work for our people here, and they put them as an inspiration subject, and they make it compulsory, that at this age, everyone on Friday, inspiration subject goes on. Now, by the time one reaches university to begin to decide how they're going to live in the world, how many Murwanas will we be having?
I love your inspiration. Now,
yes.
Being a churchman, and one of your books here says wiping poverty out of church. Then you also gave us an experience when you just went to church, and the this demon poverty being chased out of church.
Yes.
What have you done that is practical?
Yes.
To implement what you've written in the books?
Good. those who know the nature of my church, Great Thinkers Church.
Great Thinkers
Did you
Church.
hear the name itself?
Yes, yeah.
The name is called Great Thinkers Church. You see, I don't want to be in a church where that cannot, like I told you, I always want to live around a society that motivates who I am and what I want to be. The church is called Great Thinkers Church. Just the name itself, you say,
Where is it situated?
Bunamwaya. Great Thinkers Church. Because the slogan says, thinking great, doing great. The Wisdom and Excellence Church, thinking great, doing great. Now, you know what you become will always demand you. Just like the name, I had to live according to the name. And I had to inspire my people accordingly. Practically, I have always observed there are things. Having pastored people, you try to tell them, some of them didn't go to school. I one day stood up and asked my people, each one, the team I work with, what can you do that does not require a certificate in education, that doesn't require a license, that KCC has given you license, please, you do it. And I started to get different ideas from these people. One of them told me they can dance.
You are talking about talent.
And I'm talking about talent. Talent,
yeah.
Agree with me, Nick. Do you agree with me that majority of our society that are in poverty, dire poverty, are motivated by talent?
True. And most of them also have a particular talent that can execute.
Actually, all of them, they do. When I begin to listen to these people, I was amazed. And it became the source of my motivation. And I said, and my help to them. Even when I said, I think we need to do something. Do you know what I did? Some told me they can model. Some told me they can dance. Some told me they can sing. And that's why you see me too much into music. That's why I'm planning to introduce the Wilson Global Talent Promotion, where I want to use an annual theme. Church is Got Talent. And I'm talking about wiping poverty. Church is Got Talent. And we begin to award these people, even promoting them. Now, one of them, the dancer, as I talk, she has so far won 3 awards.
Wow.
In dancing.
Wow.
Very good at those Latin dances.
By the way, when you mention awards,
yes,
may I take this opportunity to congratulate you? Recently, you won a Viga award with one of your songs.
Yes, and I'm grateful to Viga. Viga team, thank you very much. I'm so grateful to Viga. They are doing a great work.
Yeah, sure.
They are doing a great work.
So one of your people won 3 dancing awards.
Yes. Another one, the model. She has, as I talk, she has won more than 3 crowns. And she has trained the other 3 who have, one has become Miss Tourism, right? One has become Miss, wish I can remember. 2. Now, it is because I came up to promote those talents. So I told her, no, you can make runway. Now that you're a Christian, every time you prepare a runway, as a pastor, I come for 15 minutes, I preach the gospel. It can be a source, a way we can reach out to people. Who said Christians can't? We just need to change the mode of modeling, and we give it a new flavor. It is not that models should be naked, because Christianity does always promotes. Yes, it doesn't promote. It is for decency. Yes, I think we just need to change that element of decency, and then you remain a model. Who said you can't make it? And I motivated her. Even as I'm talking about, she's working on her auditions. She's trying to organize the team. Now, for one who dances, they called her in one of these schools, Scooby-Doo. She's one of the teachers in the dancing in the school. But she went to school for a different thing. And right now she's doing a different thing, and she's earning money from that.
Talent.
And that's what she wakes up doing. Another one, she's my PA. She came and she's my PA. And I told her, you cannot be a PA of a person who has written 100 books. And you fail to own even one. As I talk, she has written over 20.
I love this.
And annually, I told her, no, it cannot just be PA. What is PA all about? It is about assisting people. She opened up an organization called Assist Issues International. Believe me, Assist Issues International, annually, they organize a gathering where they have to pay and
acquire knowledge
of how to assist
the people you ask.
Exactly.
I love this.
Look here, organizations hire her. to come and teach their administrators and secretaries.
She's like a professional consultant.
Exactly.
In personal assistant.
Exactly. When I tell you, she went to school for Smanyi, Forest, whatever, a different course altogether. But right now, that's why she earns the money. Those are, how many talents have I given you?
You have given me 4.
Exactly.
Yes, and then
I gave my time to see and to find out, and this is what I advise the government even to do, to find out what really motivates these people. What can they do that may not require a license? And I want to tell you, I have seen it work. And the rest, I have trained them myself.
You sound to be different from your colleagues who gather people in the church and pray about poverty.
Oh!
Because that's what the church is done about.
Yes.
You know, people come, let's pray.
Yes.
We just the man of poverty. Pastor, will poverty go away by that kind of strategy?
Oh my God. Church, let me tell you this. It's beyond demon casting. As a matter of fact, our God is a strong God. If we insist year up to year to only cast out the demon of poverty and it does not go away, it makes our God a weak God. A wise man taught me something, that whatever you cast out and it doesn't go away is not a demon. Because for every demon, God gave us the power to cast it out. If you are there and year after year, you have been casting out demons and they have failed to leave the church and the members, I better tell you, we need to change. It's beyond that. We need to do something beyond that. Maybe some study somewhere. Maybe some personal change. Maybe some personal observation and self-discovery. Maybe we need to look beyond. Maybe we need to put some studies that we normally don't put. Will every preaching, as long as every preaching in our church is centered on only demon casting and demons have already left. As demons fear Pentecostals. And as long as we are still at that level, we should never expect the poverty to leave church.
Now,
so like you asked me,
yes.
I'm a different man, completely. Because I've been a victim and I've casted these demons out. Those people who know me and my prayer life back days, they can tell you this man is a prayerful. As a matter of fact, I almost got a certificate in prayer. It didn't work. I was prayerful, casting out demon, but according to the research, it didn't work out. And God demands us beyond demon casting. If all about God is centered on demon casting and that's how he can prove his power, then we become a weak church.
Now,
yes,
from your experience,
yes,
what is the cause of poverty?
Mindset poverty is the number one poverty anyone can ever experience. Mindset, the attitude, the approach is the major cause. Because being poor is not the problem, but because it can be solved. But the approach, the attitude, the understanding about the poverty has actually caused more poverty than ever. Here we live in a society where a parent gives birth to a child and they want them to go in the same ways that themselves went in. We don't upgrade our thinking. Society keeps changing and the demands are changing. We want the demands to remain the same. Attitudes, it's about attitude. And as long as we change attitude, both in church and Africa, like I said, common attitude. We don't want to come up with new ideas on how to approach it and how to think about it. Especially in church, people don't agree that it is God's purpose, intention, to make us rich and even to get out of poverty. And as long as we have such attitudes, poverty is still lingering.
Then they don't understand why the Bible says that all the world and its fullness belongs to God.
Oh,
that means all the riches.
All the riches
belong to God.
Yes.
Well, it has been an exciting moment. And it was inspiring when you talked about your background.
Yes.
And when I see what you are today,
yes,
you are really an inspiration.
You can't compare me to my background.
No.
Yes.
They are so different.
Yes.
What would be your last word to someone that is going through a kind of background that you went through as we close this show?
Oh, thank you. Let us come up. Personally, apart from being a pastor, I'm coming up soon on a serious note as a poverty eradication activist. Seriously. And I've produced those books to try to even give to the governments of Africa to see that poverty becomes history. And I really believe it can be. I've written down powerful solutions that can really on ground with experience, practical ones, and I've even put a song as part of my campaign. You know very well I'm a good singer.
Yeah, congratulations upon winning a big award.
Exactly, I'm an award winner now.
How does your song go briefly before?
Yes, the song says, lwaki tukaba obwavu nga tuyina bingi tuswaze yatutonda nga yatuwa bingi. And the chorus says, why should we be number last when meant for number one? That's the chorus. Why should we be number last when we are meant for number one?
Why should you be number last when you are meant
to be
for number one?
Number one.
Ask your question.
Yes.
I mean, ask yourself that question as you work about getting yourself out of that kind of situation. It's been a pleasure being with you, and thank you, Pastor, for coming to the show.
Welcome.
I believe someone is inspired.
As always, I'm grateful to be in this show.
Glory to God.
Amen.
Catch you again next Sunday from myself and the entire production crew.
Amen.
Have a nice week. God bless you.
Bless you.